Police were called to a house in North Oak Cliff just before 9 this morning after residents heard gunshots.
Crack, handgun, some more crack back here. The driver's already under arrest. She was high as a kite.
Now, after he had shot the gun off, then like 6 more guys started running up, and all of them pulled out guns, and we all ran. And I just got lucky.
I mean, there's a war going on in our streets that's far bigger than anything that happened in Vietnam.
And we've tried everything to stop the shooting around here, and it looks like this is what it takes to stop the shooting.
This is our self-defense brush. Has a dual purpose. You can keep your hair beautiful and all fixed up, as well as protect yourself with it.
Guns on the street certainly not increase it as some people might have us do. It's time for a change.
Tonight from Dallas, so violent a nation.
"18-year-old Anthony Petty came close to becoming a statistic last month. He was grazed in the head by gunfire. Petty was walking with friends and says another youth mistook him for a gang member.
Now, after he had shot the gun off, then like 6 more guys started running up, and all of them pulled out guns, and we all ran. And I just got lucky.
Petty says his cousin was not so lucky when he moved to Dallas in 1990.
And like the second day here, he was killed. He got shot 2 times in the back of the head with a .357 and twice in the back. Just walking down the sidewalk with his 2 little brothers, 3 and 4. And they witnessed, their older brother get shot down in cold blood. And he walked like a whole block before he fell and hit the ground. And I think that's gonna have some effect on his little brothers, and maybe they might grow up violent. And I hope not.
Many people have turned their homes into fortresses. Some school children are searched for weapons on the way to class.
This is our self-defense brush. Has a dual purpose. You can keep your hair beautiful and all fixed up, as well as protect yourself with it.
Sarah LePere sells self-defense equipment and makes purses for women to conceal a pistol.
15 or 20 years ago, we had husbands that would take care of us, or we were at home taking care of the children. It's not a family life like that any longer, and we're out and we have to take care of ourselves.
I'd like to say something. I'm a former gang member myself. I have my own opinion on what I've been hearing around here. It's just the kind of clothes we wear, or the way we talk, or the people that we hang around with on the streets. The gang unit harasses a lot of us. That's why we don't even want to take the time to communicate with them or get to know them or even stop the violence.
You've got the chief of police here. What would you ask him for out there?
I'm not trying to get on your bad side or nothing, but you get a lot of, I've seen a lot of young cops, because from the gang unit, I've mistaken them for younger guys and try to flirt with them and stuff. And, you give them a badge and a gun, and they think that they have a lot of authority, and they use it the wrong way.
What about that, Chief?
Well, one problem we have in Dallas right now is that we've expanded the police department over the last 4 or 5 years, and we have a very high level of inexperience. We have a lot of young officers who really haven't learned how to deal with people, how to deal with them effectively, how to treat them, and it's a vulnerable period we're in. And once you get to 5 years experience, I think a police officer generally, if he survives that long, learns how to talk to people and how to leave people feeling good about themselves. And we have the bulge of our department population has less than 5 years experience. In fact, over half of the officers in uniform on the street right now have less than 3 years experience.
This is a city that is also at war with itself. Dallas is a divided city, divided by politics, by class, and by race. Demographically, half of the city's 1 million residents are black or Hispanic. Geographically, the city is split by the Trinity River and the interstate highway system. Most whites live north of the line. Almost all the blacks live here, on the black side of town. Dallas police officer Chris Hackbarth has patrolled South Dallas for more than a year.
It's still pretty bad down here. They're going through the alleys here, and all they do is back and forth, and these drug dealers are taking the lifeblood right out of South Dallas. All those people sitting up there, a bunch of them are good eyes for the crack house. They see a cop coming and they yell a code word, and by the time anybody gets there, their crack's already gone. They've got one good eye in the front of the apartment complex, wooden good eye in the back. You drive up, and there's no way that you'll be able to surprise them. The owner put up fences around their apartment complexes, but it takes a day or two, and they rip holes through them, tear them down. Top floor there is a crack house. They're not operating it today because there's no lookouts.
The city's primary response to the drug problem in South Dallas has been a show of force. Last year, the police staged well over 1,000 drug raids in South Dallas. They estimate that there are now more than 400 major drug houses in this community, almost all of them selling crack.
You got some little rocks here with this crack. They just squeeze it up real good. What you can do is, if you feel it, it's real mushy. You take it, roll it into a ball, and smoke it real easily.
It's cheap. It's highly addictive. It is the primary factor in a great portion of all the crimes that occur in this division.
The man the Dallas Police Department assigned to protect South Dallas was Deputy Chief Ray Hawkins.
And there's tremendous amounts of profit to be made by the sale of crack. I've never seen any drug that had that kind of an impact on the community.
The police estimate that the crack houses in South Dallas take in more than $500,000 a day. The drug trade here is controlled by Jamaican and Cuban gangs who moved in from New York and Miami. Police believe these gangs are responsible for 70 murders in the past 2 years. But despite the thousands of arrests, the police admit that they rarely capture the kingpins who control drugs in Dallas. This is how the Dallas police are fighting drugs in their city. These officers are on their way to a crack house, where earlier an undercover agent had made a drug buy. Now all that remains is to make the arrest and seize the drugs. In South Dallas, police make as many as 10 raids like this a day. More than 40% of the drug raids in Dallas end up like this one. No dealers, no drugs. Increasingly, the police are confronted by heavily fortified crack houses. And sometimes they are simply outsmarted by the dealers.
We make a tremendous amount of arrests in that area. We seize an awful lot of weapons. We seize an awful lot of drugs and money. But as you can see, that has not arrested that particular problem.
And the people of South Dallas are left wondering if the police have already lost the war on drugs.
If they are going to do something, I have not seen evidence of that. It could be that I'm naive and I don't know how the police department fights crime, but I believe I could do a better job.
Can you tell me why these people would be out here on the street, especially right down here, without no lights? No reason other than to sell and buy drugs.
Another major police drug enforcement strategy in South Dallas is to stop and question anyone who looks suspicious. But that's a problem, because in this almost entirely black community, nearly 80% of the officers patrolling it are white.
Get your hand out of your pocket. Get your hand out of your pocket.
There's a lot of people in the area that do not trust the police.
What are you doing back here?
Just sitting here talking to some old friends.
You live here?
No, sir. I'm in the service, sir.
What business you got staying out here in back of an apartment complex?
Well, I thought he knew somebody.
You thought he knew somebody?
Back here, sir. Huh?
What are you doing back here?
Just sitting here, sir, talking
Whose
to
car
people,
is this?
Sir. My mother's.
Okay. Could you all step out, please? Put everything on the trunk there, thanks. Keep your hands out of your pockets.
After a thorough search of the car and its occupants, Officer Hackbarth would find no drugs and make no arrests.
Any drugs or anything on you?
No.
Okay.
Last year, the city received almost 1,000 complaints about police harassment, abuse, and brutality from the citizens of South Dallas.
Yeah, that gives my goosebumps just thinking about it. I'm going to give that away to caller number 8.
Nobody sleeps. Everybody be out, the crackheads, the prostitutes, the drug dealers. This big money is fast, easy to get, very easy. Very easy.
How could you do this to me? With a couple and then there.
If they have $50,000 worth of dope, then that's what they'll make back, plus a little interest.
This young mother of 3 grew up in South Dallas. For the past 3 years, she has also been a crack dealer. Sometimes, she says, making over $100,000 a year while working for one of the drug gangs.
I have workers that are bodyguard me, watch me. I have workers that'll sit in apartments and sell drugs. I have workers that will bring customers to the place. I have workers that'll watch for cops. Some places can make $1,000 a day. Some could make $5,000. Some can make $50,000 a week. It all depends on the quantity and if it's good. If it's 98 or 99% pure, it'll go quick. Just like a jack in the box. You pop in with your money, give your money, you get what you want, go. Most older men get involved in drugs because they can't find a job. They can't find no work nowhere. Don't nobody want to hire them.
Y'all have a good one, man. You too, man.
But the young kids get in it for the gold, the money, the cars, the guns. I had a lot of kids where they would tell me they'd be 18, 19 years old. Come to find out those kids be 14 years old. Most of them I'd fire. Most of them made me good money. But I just get tired of looking at them and I fire them. Go on home, go to school.
Most of the crack workers in South Dallas are teenagers, recruited by gang leaders to serve as lookouts, runners, and street dealers. Over half the children in the war zone live below the poverty line, and teenage unemployment in South Dallas has climbed to more than 40%.
No jobs, and they ain't got nothing else to do, so somebody come up to them and ask them to sell, so they start selling. And they come addicted to all that money they be making, and they can't stop.
If they get a job making $335 and somebody offer them $100 a day, which one you think they gonna take?
I just think it's something that they want to try for themselves, Because, to tell you the truth, can't nobody make up your own mind. It's, it's what you want to do.
One kid was pretending he was the crack man. One kid was pretending he was buying crack, and I said, Lord have mercy, what a loss.
Just living the big life in the fast lane. That's what it's all about.
Tyrone is 15 years old. Last year, he finally decided to stop dealing drugs and go back to school. He says he had been selling crack since he was 11.
The things that you learn when you're young, it takes over as you get older, And seeing the stuff that was around me, it just took over, as I got older. And I just thought that I wanted to sell dope,
Yeah, I got it.
When I was working for someone, we would make from like $1,000 to $1,200 a week, working for them.
Hey, listen. You want some maize?
But then when you get into the business for yourself, you set your goal, how much money you want to make.
Look.
Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, you make anywhere from $900 to about $1,500. But then on Thursday, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, you can make $10,000, $11,000. It's fast. Payday,
The business must have been pretty good tonight, huh?
The faster you make it, you spend it, just spin. what's gonna happen, so you just live it up while you can.
It'll take a real cruel person not to sit and think who the drugs go to. My mother could be getting this. My father could be buying this. For God's sakes, my child could have sent and bought a rock and I don't know. You don't know who get it.
It start eating at your conscience after a while, you know. Seeing all these fiends and stuff, how they just killing themselves with this dope, you know. So everywhere you look, it's a dope house, you know. Drugs. That's what it's all about, you know, in $7.
The drug pushers came into the community in a vacuum. They came in with no competition. They captured our youth without any competition.